Just a bit of a housekeeping before we start. This program is going digital. We are being broadcast. We have Emily Laus here. This is for Frontier Community Access Television from Frontier Regional High School on that. So this program is actually going on public access television. It will be on YouTube, so you can, if you heard a number tonight you really liked, you want to watch it again, find Frontier Community Access Television on YouTube. And if you hear a number tonight you really didn't like, just skip over that one. But thanks to Emily, this is our first time we'll ever be on television, so how exciting. Thank you all for being here. Hey, who was at our concert in June? And it was in a stuffy building over at St. Bridget's. Here we are. Let's give it up for Mother Day. What a wonderful evening we have out here. Wonderful evening. This is the Amherst Community Band with its third concert of the summer. Our second one, I guess our first one in Sweetser Park, since our June concert didn't happen here, but we're out here. It's wonderful. Nice to be here with you. As is our custom, we'll start with the Star Spangled Banner. We invite you to rise if you are able. The Amherst Community Band is sponsored by the Amherst Business Improvement District, so our thank you to them for making this evening possible out here in beautiful Sweetser Park. Our concert theme tonight is music associated with dance. All selections on tonight's concert have some relation to dancing. We open our concert with a selection from the Hungarian composer Bela Bartok. Though he would write some of the most challenging music of the 20th century, Bartok was also concerned with music for beginners. In 1908, he composed 10 easy pieces, a series of short pieces for solo piano, which would be perfect for a children's piano recital. We start our program with the last of the Bela Bartok 10 easy pieces. This is entitled Bear Dance.
All right. 1, 2, talk, and...
Tonight is the third of 5 performances for the Amherst Community Band this summer. We'll be right back here in Sweetser Park on August 17th for a concert celebrating anniversaries of all different kinds. And then we end our season on the South Amherst Common on Tuesday, August 20th with our Best of the Summer program. That's always a fun one where we take music from all the different concerts. The band votes on what are the most popular ones, and we kind of do a hodgepodge summer in review. So I hope you can join us for both of those upcoming concerts. From Hungary, we jump to Scotland. I should say we dance to Scotland. Sir Malcolm Arnold is one of the most popular English composers of the 20th century. His music is always tuneful and easily accessible to audiences. His most popular work is likely 4 Scottish Dances, which was composed in 1958. Each movement is supposed to sound like Scottish folk music, but the melodies are all original of Arnold's creation. And to conduct 4 Scottish Dances will be Miles Anglin. Miles is a graduate student in the wind conducting program here at UMass. He is also a member of the United States Army, and tomorrow he will leave for a 2-week tour of Kuwait. Miles has also been a huge help to the Amherst Community Band as I've been gone for a few rehearsals this past month. Please help us welcome Miles Anglin to conduct Sir Malcolm Arnold's 4 Scottish Dances. And solos on that, you had Becky Kolakowski on the oboe, Roger Clapp on the bassoon, Luis Anthony on the piccolo, and the entire French horns, the entire French horn section. Stand up. You got an entire French horn section. Yeah, they had some mighty ripping parts on that. And again, thank you to Miles, who will be doing some Army service the next 2 weeks in Kuwait. So thank you to Miles. Thank you. I have to say that this is my 10th summer doing this band, because I don't count summer of 2020 because the band sort of didn't exist. But I remember the first time, my first summer conducting this band, we tried to do a concert in this park in 2014. So summer of 2014. And that concert was about approximately 15 minutes long, because we played the whole first suite. That's about 8 minutes long. And it looked good for the first movement, and then it started to get cloudy in the second movement, and by the third movement it was raining, and then I said it was just downright downpour, and I said, okay, skip to the end, we'll play Stars and Stripes. And we played Stars and Stripes as the rain came down, and then quickly vacated on that stuff. But it's just to go from that to looking out here and seeing, that how many people are here. It's just awesome. It's really, Western Mass is fans for Tanglewood, but this is pretty special too, I think. So thank you. I think this is just a wonderful thing we've built here together. You and all of us, we built this. This is just wonderful. And on this other side, I think back, Marie, and you can help me remember on this stuff, but I think back then we had 45 people or something in the band, and now I think there's 85 or so people on the stage here. So it's Judy. It's just how much this band has grown in the years. So it's just really very fun to see. All right, so you just heard 4 Scottish dances by Sir Malcolm Arnold. I mentioned we have 2 more concerts. If you're anyone who would be interested in being in the Amherst Community Band, it's not too late. There are no auditions. We rehearse on Monday evenings on the UMass campus, so if you're interested, just come see me. All right, how many of you saw the Leonard Bernstein biopic, Maestro, that was played, at Amherst Cinema? It was also on Netflix. You can still check out Bradley Cooper and Carey Mulligan, who did an incredible job as Felicia in that. If you saw it, you may remember the quasi-dream sequence of Lenny and Felicia dancing on stage with sailors and the like. That was from Leonard Bernstein's 1944 ballet Fancy Free, which a few later was turned into the full-fledged Broadway musical On the Town. We now would like to play one of the tunes from the ballet Fancy Free that was actually included a little bit on the soundtrack of Maestro. This is Danzon by Leonard Bernstein.
That is what's next, right? Yes. But first.
Leonard Bernstein stands on, featuring solos by Sean Conway on the alto saxophone, Louise Anthony on piccolo, and Michaela Farmer on flute. Percy Romano on the woodblock, and I'm not joking, it's tough to count that stuff back there. Percy Romano on the woodblock. And last but not least, I should have drawn your attention on 4 Scottish dances. Solo trumpeter, that was Josh Thompson. Josh Thompson, stand up and see what you're wearing. Show off what you're wearing tonight in honor of 4 Scottish dances. Yes, we need to see what you're wearing. He really committed to 4 Scottish dances over here. We don't need to ask what's underneath though. We're all good. Thank you, Josh. All right. Let's do a quick poll of the audience here. By show of hands, how many of you were at our June concert, which was indoors due to rain? Very nice. And you came back. That's awesome. Thank you. How many of you were at the Amherst fireworks on July 2nd? We played down by the stadium. That's great. And by show of hands, who's going to be right back here on August 17th to see us perform? Love it. Love it. I also thank you in advance. I also forgot to mention on, not tomorrow, obviously, next Sunday, August the 4th, we are playing at Look Park in Northampton. We're doing a joint concert with the Florence Community Band of Northampton. They'll play some music, we'll play some music, then we're gonna put both community bands together. Call it almost a cross the bridge, if you will, coming together, community bands on that one. So that'll be at 2 o'clock on Sunday, August 4th at Look Park on that one. And then of course, then August 17th will be our final concert in Sweetser Park, right back here in Amherst. So please feel free to check all that action out. We always appreciate it. All right, our next dance on the selection on this program is our oldest selection on tonight's program. German composer Johannes Brahms was enjoying the long-awaited major success in his career. If you even know about Brahms, he was promised success very early on, and he had a lot of self-confidence problems, and he waited till it wasn't until his 40s that he really started coming into his own. But at this point, in 1879, he was pretty much now being accepted as one of the finest living composers of the day. And at that point, in 1879, he composed 21 dance tunes based on Hungarian themes. Brahms was based in Vienna, Austria at the time, and as you know your history, at that point, that was the time of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, so it was a lot of cross-pollination between Austria and Hungary. So the 21 dance tunes on Hungarian themes were originally written for piano 4 hands, which is not a 4-handed piano, but 2 people at 1 piano. And then Brahms rearranged 10 of them for solo piano. You sometimes hear of music becoming famous long after a composer is dead. That was not the case of Brahms's Hungarian dances. They were, out of all the music he wrote in his lifetime, it was easily the one he made the most money off of. They were instantly became a sensation. Pianists all across the Austrian Empire and beyond were performing them, the sheet music sales. It was out of all, the guy wrote 4 symphonies, piano concertos, piano sonatas. It was the most commercial. This is the guy who wrote the Lullaby, for crying out loud. And it was the Hungarian dances in his lifetime that was his most commercially successful. The most famous of these is Hungarian Dance Number 5. And if you don't know it by name, trust me, you know it. You can thank Bugs Bunny or the like for that. This is one of those classical music pieces. Once we start playing, you're gonna go, oh yeah, that one on that one. So, and to conduct the Hungarian Dance Number 5 of Johannes Brahms, we're gonna bring forward Jada Williams. Jada just finished their undergraduate degree in music here at UMass and is now entering graduate school to get a master's in clarinet performance. Please welcome Jada Williams to the podium to conduct Brahms's Hungarian Dance Number 5. So do you guys recognize that tune? Yeah, it's one of those ones like, oh yeah, I know that one. And Jada, you are 22? 22 years old. I'll tell you what, I sure couldn't conduct like that one. You can say I still can't conduct like that at age 51, but definitely not age 22. Jada Williams, everyone. Bravo, bravo. The Amherst Community Band is a completely voluntary organization. We have no budget. All of our expenses, such as the music and the rental of the equipment truck, that we have an equipment truck that's right over by Amherst College right now, comes from donations. If you would like to help, please consider making a donation into the marching band hat that is right over here. We have a marching band hat. Emily, thank you, Emily. We'll send it around. Feel free to make a contribution. Every single amount helps us out. If you like what you heard tonight, feel free to make a donation to keep this music going on. If you don't like what you heard tonight, feel free to make a donation. Maybe we'll get some music lessons going for us. So we'll make it better on that one. But we greatly appreciate that. We now jump from Hungarian folk music to that authentic American musical idiom, ragtime. And when you think ragtime, there's only one name that comes to mind, and that is Scott Joplin. For the last 5 years, ragtime is about all I play on the piano, and you would have to ask my wife her thoughts on that. I can already ask my daughter right there thoughts on that. She will then run to the piano, and this is not a joke. She will then grab my hand and take it off of the keys, and then starts playing herself. And none of that is joke. Grandma right there can confirm that actually happens. She will move my hands right off the keys. The next piece you're going to hear, The Ragtime Dance, was written by Scott Joplin in 1899, but it was not published till 1902. It accompanied a ballet. Most of what we know about the ballet is lost at this point. There's just been some description, but we don't have any of the choreography left. But the music, Scott Joplin's music, survived. Like much of Scott Joplin's music, however, it was neglected after Scott Joplin's death in 1917, and it wasn't till a 1973 film brought renewed attention to Scott Joplin. Everybody know the name of that film? Sting. The Sting, yes, The Sting, where composer Marvin Hamlisch used all Scott Joplin music as the soundtrack, which led to a complete revival of ragtime music in this country and a appreciation of Scott Joplin as an American composer. This piece, The Ragtime Dance, was in the soundtrack to The Sting. We hope you enjoy the music of Scott Joplin, The Ragtime Dance.
Remember, second endings only, no repeats. No repeats. Oh, when it says stomp, no one's gonna hear on the grass. So feel free to tap your stand, or yeah, that's perfect. Let's do it in time. That'd be good. All right. 1, 2, ready, and.
The Ragtime Dance by Scott Joplin. Soloist on this. On trumpet was Dara Adam Smith. Dara was solo on cornet. And on oboe, Becky Kolakowski. Trombone, Fletcher Clark. And piccolo, Luis Anthony. Before we play our final number, maybe our final number, maybe. Before we play our final number, there's some people we need to thank. Thank you to the Amherst Business Improvement District for sponsoring our performance. Big hand for the bid. And I always like to say, how about a hand for those that are making their first performance tonight in the Amherst Community Band? If this is your first performance in the band, please stand up so we can thank those that are making their ACB debut. And I would like to personally thank Miles Anglin and Jada Williams, and Kayla Murray's not here tonight, for covering, because I've been gone a couple times this rehearsal cycle, and they covered for me. So thank you to Miles and Jada. And Miles, safe travels to Kuwait and back. Need you back for band camp. Also, a couple students I want to recognize that are playing, a couple of my UMass students that are involved here. They've had a busy couple days, these students. They, some of us, the UMass Marching Band made a unannounced surprise appearance at the Newport Folk Festival yesterday in Newport, Rhode Island, where we played, you can find it on the Marching Band social media very soon. We played with the band Guster at Newport. And some of these students were a part of that. Aisha Abdullah, the French horn section, went to Newport and back. Miles Anglin was a huge architect of pulling the thing off yesterday. Who else helped me? Fletcher Clark on trombone, who actually wrote the arrangement that we played with the band Guster at Newport. And Jan Irizarry on bass clarinet. So thank you to all you who played a lot the past couple of days. And you can see them in action August 31st, the first UMass football game. All right, and the last people I always like to thank are you. All these beautiful people I'm looking at right now, because an audience makes a performance. Without an audience, this is just a rehearsal that happened outdoors. Having an audience makes this an event. It takes what was just like, we could have done this Thursday night or Monday night in the band building. Coming out here with you all here, this is an event. This makes it a performance. So it's a two-way street here, so we can't do this out of you. So please, let us thank our audience, band. Let us thank the audience who is here for us. We really appreciate it. We very much appreciate being able to do live music. We appreciate your support for it, and I think it's just something wonderful. There's just something so, actually about New Englandy about this, isn't there? Just being out in the summer, and this weather's perfect. Let's keep our fingers crossed, just as nice when we come back out here on August 17th. And again, I forgot to put in my notes, Sunday, August 4th at 2 o'clock. We're at the park in Florence, so please check that out. And our concert on August 17th is all about anniversaries. We've got all kinds of anniversaries we're celebrating, from birthdays to, I think we're celebrating 60 years of when the Beatles went on Ed Sullivan, and we've got I think the 100 years of the Holst First Suite, and I think we're doing a little thing. I even pulled out one for my 10 years as band director of this group. So hopefully you'll want to check that out. And a big also, lastly, because I forgot about this, Emily Laws, what she's doing on this concert being broadcast on Frontier Community Access Television. So Emily, thank you for doing that, and also for collecting money. But feel free after this, check this out on YouTube. You'll be able to check this concert out. If you really, really want to hear a number again, check it out. Or you can just skip over that one if you don't like it. With power. Okay, so our final dance this evening comes from 1927. The Red Poppy was considered the first ballet created in the Soviet Union that dealt with Soviet ideological ideas. It told the story of a Soviet ship that docked in China and how the captain of that ship liberated the workers. You can take from that one as you will. The ballet is still performed today, but what becomes immediately famous is a tune called the Russian Sailor's Dance on that one. This is another one of these, if you don't think you know this song, once you hear it, you'll know the song. This is one that's been used like in cartoons and stuff like that, that's been around. So feel free to get up and dance if you like. Composed by Reinhold Goulier, this is the Russian Sailor's Dance.
Whatever happens at the end, this happens at the end. We're going to go fast, and if you're there, great, and if you're not, it's been a fun concert. All right, here we go. 1 and 2 and top, and.
If you are interested in one more selection, we have another one ready. Anyone want to have that? A couple of things, just a couple quick announcements before we're done. Of course, I mentioned earlier concerts. I know we have a car up here that's parked a little close to one right behind it. I know we need to have a person that with special needs that needs to get into that car. So basically, help out when we're done here. Well, we're all friends here, right? So that was the great thing about these concerts, just come together and just enjoy music. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. All right, if you're interested in one more selection, there is something that was absent from tonight's concert. Anybody, what kind of music didn't we have? What did we not have in a band concert tonight? Yeah, a march, that's right. You know, so how are you going to do a march on a dance concert? Well, good thing John Philip Sousa existed, isn't it? So in 1888, John Philip Sousa was commissioned by the Washington Post newspaper to write a march for an awards ceremony. The paper was doing a young person's essay contest. And this is when Sousa was director of the United States Marine Corps Band, so he's based in Washington, D.C. And they were going to have the youngsters from the Washington area that won their essay contest. They were going to read it at the Smithsonian, and President Benjamin Harrison was going to be there. So as director of the Marine Corps Band, it was required that Sousa have the band there. So Sousa wrote this special march for it called the Washington Post in honor of the paper that's sponsored by that. And it became so popular, this is the honest truth, a dance was written to accompany it. It became popular for a dance at the time called the two-step, so much so that the Washington Post was the dance of that. So the true story, you can work a march into that. You can even look on YouTube, there's been some recreations how to dance the two-step to the Washington Post march by John Philip Sousa. So much so that people would call up a Washington Post as a dance, and then the march you wouldn't play the Washington Post by Sousa, it'd be something else, but it was so close, the tune was so associated with that dance, the two-step. The other thing about that, the success of the Washington Post march hastened John Philip Sousa to end his time with the Marine Corps Band, because he made a grand total of $35 off of the march, because it was writing for the federal government on that one. So within 4 years, he had left the service and started his own private band, his own private life, where he could write stuff. Like Stars and Stripes Forever, that was written when Sousa was a citizen, a private citizen, where he could keep all the royalties on that one. Regardless of that, it's one of the most famous Sousa marches of all time. So if you want to get up and try your two-step or just march around, I know my daughter likes to march around, we end tonight with the dancing of John Philip Sousa, the Washington Post.
All right, everybody ready? Let's have a good one.
This is another one. If you don't know the name of it, you know this one. You just know what it's called.
Okay.
Ready, and...
Thank you.